So the iPhone 16 Pro Max is 3 months old right now, right? And the question is for a lot of you guys watching this video, if you're looking at upgrading to a new phone, of course, as always, is this worth the money that you're shelling out for it? And is it going to do the things that you want and need it to do? Now, full transparency and full context that typically I'm more of an Android guy, right? I have my Galaxy Fold 6 right here, which I use pretty much every single day for a lot of different reasons. And I've used the Pixel devices, Galaxy Ultra devices, but if you've been here before, you know I do not care at all about like brand loyalty necessarily. If it works for me, it works for me, right? Whether that be Pixel, LG, Samsung, iPhones, you name it. And what I can say is that even though those other phones are ones that I typically gravitate toward, the iPhone 16 Pro Max in a lot of ways has improved over the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And in my experience, at least, for a large majority of people on a day-to-day basis, this is going to be a pretty darn good all-around device. And no phone's perfect, right? And there are certainly things that hold this back for me personally, what I need it for on a day-to-day basis. But I'm gonna walk you guys through all of the ups, all of the downs over these last 3 months with the iPhone 16 Pro Max so you can see if it's going to accentuate your lifestyle in the ways that you need it to. If you guys are new here, my name is Dave, and this is where tech meets lifestyle. Even though I do prefer my Galaxy Fold 6 for a number of different reasons that we'll talk about, battery life-wise, this is one of those things where I just unfortunately have to charge it at least once per day to get me through my entire day, from the time that I wake up in the morning, go through all of like my client sessions as a clinical therapist, doing all of my YouTube stuff, making texts, phone calls, lots of emails nowadays, especially for this YouTube thing. Unfortunately, charging it once per day is just necessary. With the iPhone 14 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max, and now the iPhone 16 Pro Max, this is a phone that you just want to pick up, not have to worry about charging it at all throughout the course of the day. This thing is excellent. This is a phone that you're going to be getting like 8 to 9+ hours worth of screen on time out of. Battery efficiency for me has been excellent. Alongside that though, if you are looking for something that is comparable in terms of battery life, I definitely have reviews right up here for you guys that's going to fit the bill, alongside some Pixel devices that were really surprising in terms of battery life. But all in all, for this video, iPhone 16 Pro Max, you want a battery champ. This one for sure is going to get you throughout the entire course of your day. And another way that the iPhone 16 Pro Max really just excels, pretty much like the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max, is the gaming, man. I mean, if you're someone that really enjoys playing phone games, especially the really heavy-hitting ones like Genshin Impact, you have Punishing Gray Raven, Honkai Star Rail, those are games that really push the GPUs on phones really exceptionally far. And what's amazing is that you can push absolutely all of those games to the maximum graphical fidelity settings, like your bloom, your textures, anti-aliasing, shadows, all of those things to the maximum. And this is flat out just not going to skip a beat. Now, if you are looking for phones that are going to be able to push things that way, I can't quite recommend Pixel devices, right? The G4 Tensor chipset is definitely improved this year over the past Pixel devices, but you're still not getting like a true top high-end gaming device the way that you are out of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the 15 Pro Max, or honestly, even like my Galaxy Fold 6, right? This can play absolutely everything at maximum settings. The Galaxy S23 Ultra, 24 Ultra, but as a whole for gaming, this thing is awesome. One of the things that always seems to be contentious for some iPhone users is the topic of multitasking. For me personally, multitasking is something that I use every single day on my Galaxy Fold 6. And full honesty, it's not something that I use all of the time, every single day. But there are many, many times throughout the course of my day, whether it be for my clinical work, signing PDF forms, documents. My fiance and I actually settled on the wedding venue, but there are still a lot of different moving parts involved in a wedding that we're still constantly working on and discussing, and being able to utilize my screen for multiple tasks at one time to kind of like swap things over, right? Where you can select text, drag it over to the other window, or just reference things is something that's really, really helpful. But a lot of iPhone users argue that it's not something that you need. And I'd argue, yes, it's not something that you need. But for the price that you pay for phones like, here's the 16 Pro Max. For the price that you pay for phones like these, having that kind of flexibility is something that is nicer to have than not, given the price point. And if you guys are looking for the best way to protect your iPhone 16 series phones, ESR has their cases with smooth, sensitive touch for effortless control of your camera slider, with a cover that delivers a lightning-fast response and smooth operation, and has an advanced anti-fingerprint coating that keeps every interaction seamless and clean.
These cases also have seamless, dust-free durability with a cutting-edge 3-layer structure and a PC frame, and this construction eliminates gaps, keeping the button free from dust while maintaining a sleek, elegant design. Their cases also offer the ultimate peace of mind with reinforced dual impact resistance, preventing scratches and shattering. This durability can help you avoid up to $749 in potential repair costs. The camera guard doubles as a stand, allowing use of MagSafe accessories while watching videos, gaming, or browsing. You also have a strong magnetic lock with 1,500 grams of magnetic strength, which is over twice as strong as Apple's cases. These things aren't going anywhere. These cases also have an award-winning design with ultra-slim 1.6mm profiles with award-winning stash stand. So if you guys are looking for a really protective case that is sleek and also has functionality to protect your $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 phone, I'll have links in the description down below for you guys so you can grab an ESR case for yourself.
The iPhone 15 Pro Max flat out just had thermal issues, right? Where when you're playing a game, it would get exceptionally hot. In a lot of instances for myself, I'd be playing a game and it flat out becomes so hot that it started to feel like it was going to burn the tips of my fingers. I never quite let it get that far, but it was getting that hot. But to remedy this, Apple actually replaced the graphene pads in the 15 Pro Max with graphene sheeting over here. And in my experience, thermals have definitely been better than last year's model. I will say that this, in my experience, still gets like warmer than say like my Galaxy S24 Ultra, in a lot of instances my Galaxy Fold 6, but not so hot that it was genuinely concerning. And so what's great is that you are getting all of that amazing gaming performance without burning your hands, and also in terms of like concern for the battery life, I'm less concerned this time around than I was last year. So I know a big question is AI implementation. I'm gonna walk you guys through this, ready? So can you write a note for me where I'm currently in negotiations with a sponsor, but they want me to have deliverables of a dedicated video, an integrated ad, a reel on Instagram and Facebook, but I would like to negotiate the deliverables down to just an integrated ad and just a reel.
Okay, here's a draft of that note. Hey sponsor, thanks again for the chance to partner up. I'm really excited about the idea of working together. I'm also happy to include an integrated ad.
And then over here's where you have it right out for me with Gemini. And this is just so you guys can see I am on the latest update with ChatGPT integration. And it's one of those things where time after time, the AI on the iPhone does do well with certain things, but it lets me down in a lot of other ways that, like the Google Gemini over my Galaxy devices, the AI integrations there, even with Samsung AI, right? You have Gemini and Samsung AI, are able to give me the answers and help me in the ways that I'm looking for on a day-to-day basis more consistently than what I'm getting over here from the Apple Intelligence, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is like completely useless and completely garbage and you're not getting anything out of this, but in my experience on a day-to-day basis, it's just still a bit more limited than the offerings on my Galaxy or Pixel devices. And that's something that's really going to depend on you guys, right, as a viewer, if it's something that you personally care about on a day-to-day basis when you are trying to make things work. I'm gonna give you guys another example real quick. Hey, so can you make me a workout regimen where I'm trying to incorporate quick twitch muscle exercises for my football playing? I play as a cornerback and wide receiver, and I also need to sort of balance out my diet in terms of like getting enough protein per day and vegetables.
All right, sounds like you're ready to get in football shape. To start, I'd recommend focusing on exercises that build explosive power think sprints, plyometrics like box jumps.
And then you can see here, it provides me the entire text layout of the kind of answer that it was giving me. And then over here on the iPhone, it just simply did not do it, right? And I understand that I wasn't speaking in a very specific way, but I think that's kind of the point where I don't have to speak in a very specific way to get the answers that I'm looking for out of the AI over here on Galaxy devices. Now, that being said, it can do things like translate this page for me. And then it asks you to send it over to ChatGPT. And then it does it, where things on Galaxy devices are just a bit more seamless, right? So say for example, I come over here, or say right on my Galaxy, I could hit summarize, and it's going to do the page summarization for me. And that's just to kind of give you guys an example. Long story short, Apple Intelligence is certainly progressing, right? Especially it has like that feature where you can point at something, it'll tell you exactly what it is. but it's just not as far along as I personally would like, as someone who is looking forward to seeing that technology grow, as over here on Galaxy and Pixel devices. Cameras flat out, as you would expect on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, are just as good as they have been over the last couple of years. You have to bear with my voice a little bit. I'm a little bit sick. Dealing with highlights is something I feel like iPhone has struggled a bit with over the last few years, and every single year they seem to get a little bit better at that, and that's the same thing that I can report here for the 16 Pro Max. Overall video is still to this day one of my favorite video capabilities in a phone. Just having the capability of your phone being able to put out footage that resembles a DSLR camera is amazing, but realistically, a large majority of people are never even going to use that, myself included as a content creator. I really don't use that pretty much ever. Picture, video, if you want a great camera phone, this thing is amazing. Point, shoot, and you get great results. The camera slider is new, and in my experience is something that after the first couple of weeks of trying to use it, right, and putting it through its paces, it just never quite stuck for me personally. I found that it was kind of finicky, and I never quite got the result that I was looking for in terms of that fine-tuned control. I resorted to just using the on-screen slider, which for me works awesome, and I never really missed the camera slider. It's going to be a preference thing. It really just doesn't come up for me. That's about it. Overall, this is still going to be a fantastic device for like 80 to 90% of people. Just because it falls short for me in a number of different ways doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be great for you on a day-to-day basis for the things that you need or want out of your phone, right? It's going to take great pictures, great video, everything is snappy and smooth. I've experienced some bugs on the last couple of iOS iterations. No technology is perfect, and as a whole, it's still a great streamlined package that's going to do pretty much what you want it to do. You're missing out on the multitasking, the open OS, and a bunch of other things as well, but if you guys don't need those things, this is still a really great way to go. If you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much again for stopping by and hanging out. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night. I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna end the video. Have a nice day.